statement. Then please raise your hands for questions for the student athletes and coach. Coach Satterfield.
Yeah, I think first of all, just want to have this press conference, just get together, talk a little bit about what's happening on our team, and then where we're moving forward with. First of all, awesome to have these two guys sitting here beside me as you think about pillars of the program. These two guys here are certainly great examples of that. Phenomenal human beings, but really outstanding football players as well. And it was a huge importance for me to be able to have these guys come back and be a part of this team. I mean, I think they're obviously great leaders, but to have them in the locker room, to have them training in the off-season program, and all those type things, I think are obviously huge. And not only these two guys, you think about 5 starters back on the offensive line, on an offensive line that finished 5th in the country in rushing. I mean, that's huge to have those guys come back. Corey Kandra, which is one of the hardest working players that I've been around. Every day he's in there doing something, and he's a guy who rushed for 1,000 yards, and something that's not not to take lightly. I think that's huge. The first year in the Big 12 to have a 1,000-yard rusher, that's phenomenal. For the guys up front, and for Corey, the way he put together a great season, and to have him coming back, a Cincinnati kid, that's that just again a great example of what we want to have in our program. We're excited about where we're headed. Obviously disappointed in our record last year. We outgained, I think 6 opponents by more than 100 yards. So that tells you we're not that far off. We did not do the things that were good enough to seal games. I think, and it comes down to being disciplined. And I think, that's ultimately these games, a lot of are decided in the fourth quarter. And it's the team that's the most disciplined, the team that does things right the majority of the time. And I'm talking off the field and on the field. And so we want to fill that locker room with those type of individuals, because when it gets down to it, it's crunch time, we got to make the play. Those guys will make the plays because they do things right. And, guys like this that do things right, that will have a strong voice in the locker room, we need that. And, I think about, some of the other guys that'll be coming up, they're the same way. So we're excited about the future of it, the program. We're looking forward to December 20th, where we have, be over 20 high school players that'll be signing with us. Excited about those guys. And as you guys know, we're right in the beginning of portal season. And so we're looking to add some players in that regard. And certainly these guys will be involved, and, Kandra and Gerhard and these guys will be involved in that process, because, man, this is their team. And they want to bring in quality individuals. And I think more than anything is quality people and individuals, and that's what we're looking to do. So I open up with questions.
Chad.
Coach, the importance, can it not be stated of finding maybe that core as you go into speed dating season? Because, I mean, it's chaos, and you're trying to find people you have a connection here, there, any which way, but how critical was it that week before to say, okay, this is the foundation of what we are going forward, and those guys are all on board?
Yeah, you can't say anything louder. I mean, to be able to have the core leadership of our team from last year, and these guys have had great success throughout their careers individually, but also as team players. And to go through what we went through last year, and for these guys to continue to lead and to continue to try to be a positive example, I mean, it's huge. And to carry this into the offseason is huge. And so when you think about bringing over 20 freshmen in here that need to be able to look up to these guys right here to say, all right, this is how it's done, this is how you're supposed to work, this is how you're supposed to carry yourself. We need great examples of those guys, character guys that can show these young people how they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act. I think that's huge. And so, yeah, you can't say it loud enough how awesome it is to be able to get these guys back in the program. And and here's the other thing. I mean, these guys, man, you think about the portal, like these guys on the market could have went out there and landed at a lot of other great places, right? And could have went to the next level, professionally. I mean, there's a lot of avenues these guys could have taken, and but the fact of them to say, hey, listen, we're coming back. We want to see this program get into a great place and get back to a great place, and to be those kind of leaders that we want to have in the program, it says a lot about who they are individually.
Dontay, how much of your staying was what the city means to you, what the school means to you, and then second part, getting that that bad taste out of your mouth from what happened this year? And third, how much of it really was you just couldn't go somewhere that there wasn't skyline?
Yeah, for me it's legacy. You know, I wanna finish off on top, like just finishing on a high note. And then second, I just want to help Coach Sat. You know, somebody I can go to talk to about anything. You know, I want to build a foundation. You said December 20th. That's where all the freshmen come in. So that's my job this year and Footy job, and just all the other people on the team that's still here, trying to build that foundation. You know, that's where it started at. Them freshmen, like we gotta teach them like the highs and lows of this game, because they're not gonna know anything come there, and so we just gotta teach them one day at a time. It's just I'm big on loyalty. You know, money's not the main point for me. I just want to learn how to be professional at the end of the day. I feel like I needed more of that, so that's what was a big part of me coming back. I know Coach Sat and that great staff he got could help me with that, so that's why I was like, it was a hard but it wasn't. So it was an easy decision to come back, especially because we got such a great leader, a head coach. So it's an easy decision for me to make. But I'm a Bearcat, and I'm excited to get to work. But also, what Coach said earlier, it's not my part to be around these transfer portal guys, so I don't know if they're gonna buy in or not. So that's my job, and that's Footy's job, and then the rest of the team. We gotta be collective, including the fans. It's all one. We all got one goal, and that's win a championship. So we gotta build a brick by brick. So that's the foundation. That's what we gotta keep going on. So that's something I'm very excited about, and I just wake up with a smile on my face every day that we're gonna find the best people to get in this team to buy in.
And Skyline.
And Skyline, of course.
Keegan and then Scott.
Dontay, kind of continuing with the portal, you're obviously from Cincinnati, you've played here for so long. What kind of specific mindset and what kind of person coming out of the portal do these guys need to be to kind of fit in this culture at Cincinnati and achieve what you guys want to achieve?
Yeah, just three things: taking coaching, wanting to buy in, and as far as just holding yourself accountable. Those are the big three things you gotta have. If you want to be under Coach Sat, that's what those just big three main objectives. So we're gonna find people that want to buy in, and if not, we don't want you. So we're just gonna keep just being honest, but we're just gonna keep trying to find the best players out that want to buy in at the end of the day.
Are you still at 12 to 14? That was your initial gauge. And
Yeah, it's obviously fluid. We'll see where that number lands, but roughly in that somewhere in that ballpark.
Also, are you taken aback by how crazy it's been, just the sheer numbers and some of the names, and you guys probably know some of these guys. Do you look at it and go, holy crap, that guy's in there?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Nothing really surprises me anymore. But I think this year, obviously, I think this thing has been going on now, for 2 or 3 years, and each year has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. I love and appreciate loyalty. I really do. Like with Dontay and what he just mentioned. I think that is few and far between. I think anymore. And but here's the other thing. You don't want to put everybody in the same category, because every situation is different. Somebody's reasoning for leaving their school is maybe different than someone else's. And everybody's got their reasons, right? And so for us, as we're looking to bring a part of the Bearcat family, is like, all right, what's your reasoning for leaving? All right, what's your issues, and what are you looking out of this, trying to get out of this? And so we have to do a great job of vetting the guys and try to bring the right ones in, and the ones that, like you mentioned, that would take coaching, that would want to be a part of a team, because this is a unique sport. This is not like some of these other sports, particularly individual sports. It's a team sport. There's 11 guys on the field at one time. I'm one, but I am playing for the other 10 that I'm out there on the field with. And this sport, if you do that, then you're going to have some great individual success. But if all you care about is yourself, then you're not. You're not going to have success. The team's not going to have success. So as we're looking to bring, that's the kind we want to look to bring in guys that, listen, they all want individual success. We get that, but you got to do it within the team structure, and that's the thing that we have to find. Guys that want to put the work in to do it as a team.
Brian, then Chad.
Coach, you mentioned this offseason is going to be really hard, not only for the players, but also the coaches. Can you just describe some of the differences in this offseason playing compared to last year?
Yeah, for me, I got a much better feel about who we got in the locker room. I come in here, I have no idea. Dontay used to come hang out in my office all the time in the offseason, so I knew him, but you just don't really know what makes people tick and those type things. So we got a great feel for that now. But it's like, all seasons are supposed to be hard. They're always hard. That's part of it. You go through it because you break everybody down and then we build everybody back up. There's going to be early morning stuff that we're going to be doing, competition, lifting and running, and all the things that most programs all do. We'll split our guys up into teams and have competitions within the teams. We're going to put coaches on these teams as well, and we're holding everybody accountable. There's going to be repercussions for people that don't do right and that don't win certain competitions. But and so we're all going to be in this together, the coaches and the players. Hopefully, it'll bring us really close. As we think about doing these particular teams, I think we're going to have 6 different teams, but they're going to be a mix of all different position groups and coaches, so everybody gets to know everybody a little bit better that way. And I just think it brings you tighter and closer, and you'll face adversity throughout this winter program. How you gonna react, and so what you try to create is adversity that we faced during the season, how people react. That's when you see true colors, and so we're gonna try to see that and find that out in the off season as opposed to during the season.
Fletch, in your return announcement, you mentioned getting healthy. Just take us through some of the struggles that you had physically this year to stay on the field. And then you're an All-American, you're an All-Conference guy. You could have gone pretty much anywhere that you wanted. Why stay? Why the decision to see this thing through?
Yeah, so for the first part, I kind of just had, I guess at the end of last year, kind of returned with some like a sports hernia type stuff, and then some real sort of tightness in my groins, and couldn't really figure that out for the whole season, and we didn't know whether to operate or not, and decided just to go with, I was kicking well enough to go through the season, and I don't think I was unbelievable this season like I maybe had been last year, but I thought I did pretty well this year, and our whole punt team as a group, considering how much that had changed, even with the young guys on that unit, I think we're 15, 16 in the country, so pretty proud of them, and those young guys like Jonathan Thompson, who's coming back next year. I guess answering your next question, a guy like that sort of is a big motivation for me, because I see a guy like that being a really damn good football player, and that's someone that I want to be around next year, and that's someone that I want to help grow. And we had a lot of young guys this year that we've retained that are going to come back and have played a lot of football where in other situations or in other teams that I've been in, you kind of didn't get your chance because there's so many guys in front of you and stuff like that. But this city means a lot to me, and I've been here for 3 years now, and it was Coach Mason, special teams coach, who's doing his job for the Colts at the moment, doing really well for himself, so good on him. But he recruited me, and he took a shot on me, and I think we kicked over FaceTime, and that's just how it was back in the day, and back in the days of COVID, and he took a shot on me, and the rest is history, and this city's really looked after me, and to be honest with you, there was kind of no question with me coming back, to be honest. I mean, there was agents and all those stuff that are always going to be in the picture, but my dad always kind of said to me, money and that stuff will kind of come, and you don't get to be in college for forever, and just enjoy that. And there was no real worry for me coming back or not.
That's kind of what I was going to get to next. How do you lean? Do you lean on your dad, your grandpa, on that ability to, they've been professional athletes and they know what this is about. How much do you lean on them?
Yeah, a lot for sure. I'm very lucky and blessed to be in a situation like that where I've had two blood-related people that I grew up and they raised me to be the man I am today, to be so close to them, even though I am so far away. I've been so lucky in that sense, because he's been through it. He did it for 20 years. My grandpa did it for 15 years, and they've been hugely successful in their own game. And I think professional sport and being a professional athlete, no matter where it's Australian football or American football, there's some similarities there. So to be able to lean on them has been awesome.
Dontay, Mason, obviously you guys talked about the importance of coming back, but how important is it for this offseason with guys like yourselves, Dontay Mason, the offensive line returning, Corey? What's been the big emphasis for you guys heading into this offseason? Obviously, you talk about the leadership. What's the biggest focus as you guys are heading into this offseason with this group?
I think kind of just going with what I just said before, like a guy like Jonathan Thompson. It's someone we've got a crux of those players. I think Barry Jackson's going to be a damn good footballer as well. They're the people that need what Dontay said before. They need to be guided. They don't need to be, we don't need to be breathing down their neck all the time, but they're people that need to be guided by someone like me and Dontay, who's been here for 3 years and seen success and seen